This is my second time filming this. My card got full. Let's do this. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to Books My Quiet Friends. Today I'm here with a review for you. The book I'll be reviewing for you guys today is The Reader by Traci Chee. I have had this on my TBR for a while and I'm interested to share my thoughts with you guys. I gave this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Reader follows our main character Sophia in a world where reading is unheard of. Sophia, after a family tragedy, discovers a book and she discovers many characters based on her adventures with this book. Other characters in the book and then fictional characters as well. These include a mute boy, a band of pirates, and a woman dressed in black. As I mentioned, I gave this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm going to start with the negative and try and end on a positive note for this book. So I think that the first part of this book really dragged on. I think the first 150 pages were just kind of a blah and a blur. That might have just been my mood, that might have been me getting introduced to the world, it could have been anything really. But I think the pacing was really off in the first part of this book. I didn't think that things were going at a rate where I was interested. I didn't care enough about the main character quite yet, and things were happening to her, but I didn't really know how I felt about it. We kind of got a little bit of her backstory, and then all of a sudden we were switching to so many points of view. And if that is not something you're interested in, I would not suggest picking up this book. But after time, the points of view get way better, and I think the pacing really gets better as you read the book. After 150 pages, I was into it. I was loving it. I think our character was kick-ass. I think the people that she meets are pretty amazing and dark and full of secrets. And I think the points of view really add to the story overall. This is the last negative thing I'll say about it. There was a lot of detail put into this book. And while I love the idea that there's so much detail, for me there was a little bit too much. At the bottom of the pages, there are words beside some of the page numbers, and they make up a story themselves. And while that is an interesting fact for me, I think that it was too much for me to take in all at once. So when I reread this book in preparation for the next book, because I will be reading the next book, I plan to kind of like read those bits and kind of take note of what those are saying as well and see what they add to the story. I came to love all the points of view in this book, and while there are some that are dark and twisted and there are some that are light and happy, they really show a different part of the story and kind of come together to really put together an interesting world and an interesting first book. Now, I think that this is supposed to be a trilogy, so this means there will be 2 more books. The next book doesn't come out until November, and it is called The Speaker. It is purple and beautiful, and I already looked it up on Goodreads and plan to pre-order it as soon as possible. I also want to note that the author did a very interesting concept where magic comes from words and reading and the written word, which is something I hadn't really read about before. We all know Harry Potter where they say the spell and the spell kind of happens, or they do the movement, and you know what I'm saying? But this one was very different. It was kind of like accidentally mastering the art of magic through reading, which is something I can like love as a reader. It kind of reminds me of why I read, and this book reminded me overall of why I don't DNF books and why I stick with them, because you never know how that book's going to turn out or play out. It might go exactly the way you think it will go, or it might completely just rock your world, you have no idea what's happening, knock your socks off, whatever other thing you can say about it. But this book for me was definitely a 4.5, and I can't wait to read the next book. I'm now going to be saying some spoilery things about this book, so if you're not here for that, please click away. Thanks for watching the first half of the video. If you are here for spoilers, please don't leave spoilers down in the comments. That just doesn't bode well with me, especially if someone's clicking on it and then just trying to learn about the book. Not a good idea. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay, so this book has a shit ton of point of views. And in the beginning you're kind of like, who is this person? Why do I care what they're doing? Why am I following them? What is happening? This world's a lot to take in. There's a war here, there's a war there, there's another country here, ooh, a queen over there. Like, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot to take in. And I still am not sure about all the wars and this and that and the next thing. But I am interested in all the points of view at this point. We have Captain Reed, we have Lon, we have Tannen, we have Sophia. I do believe there's a bit from the shipmaster guy who's blind. Can't remember what his name is. That's horrible. I know. But there is a lot going on in this book. And I think this book did pirates in one of the best way I've seen pirates done in a long time. It also did magic through the written word, which was incredible to me. It was just so, just made me want to read more and have more and get like back into reading, and yes, I loved it. I'm also interested to see about the change in the guard and how the guard went from the guard the Lon knew to the guard that Sophia is now encountering with Tannen as the director of the library. And the fact that they're called the guard, not the library, right? The fact that their name has changed is kind of spookity to me. I'm interested to see what happens. And now with Tannen being no longer a character or a point of view in this story, I wonder who will pick up that kind of dark side of the point of view. Some point of views I really wanted to talk about for sure are Captain Reed. He is a pirate, but a pirate who's just out to live his life. He wants to be free of the rule, free of the war, and no one owns the water is something he mentions in this book. No one can own him while he's on that water, while he's on the waves. He can make legends for himself, and he can make a name for himself out on that ocean. He also really cares for his crew, which is something that you don't see a lot in pirate books. Sometimes you do. But I've never really come across someone who cared so much for the people who were aboard his ship. And he cares so much for anyone who is struggling, and he tries to take the best care of them he can. Although he does question Sophia and Archer when they end up on his ship, rightfully so, he does not right away shoot them down or murder them like some might. I mean, some people might just throw them overboard and be like, okay, good luck, bye. But he didn't. He kind of gave them a chance and kind of got to know them and more about them. And it wasn't all about him. It was about his crew and the people around him. Another point of view that I thought was really cool was Tannen. I wasn't expecting to read from like the villain's point of view and from her world. But the more you read from her world, the more you realize that she knows more about Sophia than you think she does. And she knows something about her parents and the past. And I want to know what that is and how she got to know them and why she became their enemy. And all of these horrible things and great things and horrible things. But you know what I mean? It's a lot. I want to know all about what happened there, and I am super interested to see who takes over the director position now that she is gone. Another main character that we kind of read from is Lon, and Lon we find out later on is Sophia's father. But it's more about how he comes to get to be a reader in the library and become a librarian, and how he's going through his life and the people he meets in this kind of society area. He meets Sophia's mother, and we do find out that somehow they get the book and they run away and they have a daughter and they're constantly on the run. What we don't know is what happened between them falling in love and them like running away with this book and how she comes to be. Well, I mean, we kind of know how babies are made, right guys? But how they deal with the fact that they have a child and this child is part of this world now where they are constantly on the run. I was also very interested in the Shipmates' point of view. He is blind and uses a completely different kind of magic than I'd ever thought about before. The fact that he connects so well with these trees and this wood, and he can kind of communicate with them and through them to see for the first time. The only place he can see is on this ship. And I can't wait to see how that kind of plays out in the next books and what's going to happen in the future for these characters. Another main interest for me is the book itself. The fact that it's the history of anyone and you could find anything in the book makes you wonder, what is Sophia going to find about Archer, about herself, her parents, the guard, everyone? Like, what is she going to do with that? It's a lot of pressure. And the last person I really want to mention in this book is Archer, and he is a character that we first see and kind of think of as pitiful and scary because he has been corrupted in a way that he just believes that he must fight everyone, but he doesn't want to kill, which is something that's very interesting to me. Especially as he fights his way through the ranks, you kind of see that there are those people who are in it to kill because that's how they've been trained and that's what they want and they have the bloodlust, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to do something different, but he'll do whatever it takes to help Sophia. They are a dynamic duo, and while he has regained his voice and his memory, I wonder how that will play into their friendship throughout the next book. Overall, I really enjoyed the reader and would recommend it to fantasy lovers who can start with a slow pace and really build on the world and understand the worlds around them, with or without the map that's inside this book. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you on the weekend. Okay, bye!